staff, 35 years of experience. We figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful, with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work, to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. Specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last. As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3 seed Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
Every Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate. That's your past, that's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Kicked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5, he'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, good people? Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. Obviously, I'm coming from a secret location, but we are the Old School crew coming at you live, courtesy of the Mercado Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andremat, 168th and Maple, up there in the O. DP, my good friend, good fella, live in effect there at the Mecca Sports Radio, 1040 O Street, the Ticket, like we like to call it, the Ticket, or if you're from DC, the Ticket. if you know the lingo, which I don't think a lot of people in the great state of Nebraska know the lingo, but they can catch us on all the streaming channel or streaming devices, along with the app 937 The Ticket. Get it in your Android, which I won't say who. One of us has an Android. Hey, DP, I got to tell you.
All the way under the bus. All the way right from the jump, right under the bus.
Hey, man, I was traveling yesterday, man, and these two dudes must have been traveling for business. And one dude was going off. He's like, man, I told you to get rid of that Android. And all I could think about is you.
Listen, I like my Android. I know how to use it. I don't have to do an extra. I don't have to be extra for other people.
Yeah.
I like my Android. Listen, I can't get people here to use technology. So, look, I would get Apple just in time. I would get the next new thing and nobody would catch up. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, man, he stood on business, though. He stood on business on his Android, but which is all good. But, DP, big news last night. Obviously, the college football playoff rankings came out last night with a couple surprises. Obviously, we'll get into who would play who, and obviously the big news is obviously Georgia is on the outside looking in if it started today or this weekend, which is tricky because when you look at the ranking, they're still 12, but they actually are 13 when you think of which is Boise State would be the group of 5 that gets in. But more importantly, let's look at those pesky Indiana Hoosiers, 10-0. There's no more. Are they good? Are they for real or scheduled? Yes, they've probably had timing situations as far as who they played when they played them, but ultimately they've answered every bell per se. And I want to get your opinion on this. And it's you want to tip your cap to Signetti, and at least in my opinion, what does it say about a team, DP, that can, blow teams out like out of 77-0, turn around and then obviously their first true test on national TV, answer the bell against Nebraska, face the next week a test with their quarterback out and decide to run it 26 plays or 26 out of the 29 plays in the second half, and then beat you up with bully ball. And then the last game, obviously, with Michigan, which Michigan is obviously not the one of last year, but ultimately Michigan and their running attack, you would think with their defense and running attack, they would probably be the ultimate kryptonite for them. And Indiana found another way to win when they didn't play good. And I think that's the most important thing. They didn't play good, but found a way to win.
Yeah, I'm standing on business that the 3 best teams in the country, probably the 4 best teams in the country, are all undefeated, and for a variety of reasons, and whatever ranking and seeding, and I think it's more seeding than ranking, right? Than that favoritism.
Like I did a call in Atlanta today, and it really hit me. Okay, this is a popularity contest. This is not.
Oh, yeah.
This is not about work done. This is a popularity contest. But the reality is, Oregon's the number 1 team in the country at 10-0. Indiana's the number 2 team in the country at 10-0. Like we can talk about, BYU is the number 3 team in the country at 9-0. I'm not giving credit for things that you haven't done. I'm only giving you credit for things that you have. And Army is 9-0. And listen, they have their playoff game, play-in game against Notre Dame coming up. Deservedly so.
Right.
But here's the thing. Notre Dame has already lost to a team less than Army.
Correct.
They already had. So the flaw, the pimple already exists. So the top 4 teams in the country, and then everybody else is a popularity contest. The 4 teams that have remained undefeated deserve, if the playoffs started tomorrow, have earned the right to be those top 4 seeds, and everybody else falls in line because you haven't done the job. Like, we still don't know. We don't know who the best SEC team is. We don't know. We still aren't sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could have the discussion. Tell me if you think that Miami, after losing a game that they absolutely should have won, is a better team than SMU. SMU only losing to, by my popularity contest, the number 3 ranked team in the country and the only undefeated team in a 6-point loss against BYU.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I mean, which loss is more credible?
Yeah.
The undefeated team or the 5-4 Northern Illinois team? Like, like, I mean, it's silliness out loud to say, and I get that it gets these conversations going, but I want to give credibility to, or at least consideration to, a BYU team that's figured out a lot of, listen, if they were ever going to crap the bed, it was Saturday night. And they figured out a way to gut through and play through and plow through, even against a down season Utah team. A rivalry game matters. And they figured out a way to get a win. So Penn State, hey, you are who you are. We're still not sure, right?
Well, we're sure. We know who they are. We know exactly who Penn State is. James Franklin and Penn State are going to Penn State and James Franklin. You know, the one thing about BYU, I think that the pressure really built for BYU and Indiana after those upsets earlier in the day. And the reason why I say that is as a player and as a coach, you see some teams like Miami, right? Which, Georgia Tech got lucky last year. That was a coaching error 1-on-1 by Mario Cristobal. Definitely Miami was coming in on the high. And then, Georgia Tech had lost their luster after, beating the brakes off of Florida State, which seems like 2 years ago. But ultimately, Miami didn't play well. But you see that, and you gets in your mind, what if, right? And let's think about BYU going on the road to Salt Lake City after watching Miami go on the road at Georgia Tech, which is obviously Atlanta, and see some of those, I guess demons or whatever, and then have to go out there and play against a team, no matter what Utah's record was or was going into that game or is going into that game in the future. And it goes the same for BYU if the roles were reversed. It's going to come down to the very last possession, which it did. So to find a way to win, this isn't the first time, but this has really had their backs against the wall where they had to drive literally the length of the field, and obviously you have a walk-off field goal to win. Will pay dividends, but it lets you know that BYU is for real. They've played a better schedule than people give them credit for. They beat the living breaks off of Kansas State, which you thought that, okay, that was their first introduction to the Big 12, right? They beat the brakes off of Kansas State. Obviously, they won last week against Utah, and they beat SMU. So they have answered every bell, alike in Indiana. I'm in agreement with you. Right now, it doesn't hurt any of those teams to be, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 if you want to throw Army in there. And then everybody else has to figure it out after that. And the biggest thing is I was thinking about this when I sent Austin the rundown. I was like, before the season with the playoff, there's like, oh, strength of schedule matters. So you got to have a really good strength of schedule or a strong schedule just in case you have a hiccup earlier in the season, i.e. say Ohio State. Well, now we know that doesn't matter. Now we don't know it doesn't matter. because strength of schedule, if we're playing by those rules, right? Both, and let's look at Georgia. They do not look as dominant as they should, or as they could when you have a first-round quarterback and some supposedly pretty good receivers coming back in a dominant defense. But both of their losses are on the road to Texas and to Ole Miss. Both teams in there, and now they have to play Tennessee this following weekend. You talk about strength of schedule. We usually look at strength of schedule when a coach is on the hot seat, i.e., Billy Napier. Right? We think about that, and that seat cooled down real quick. But when you think about it, the strength of schedule isn't as important. The biggest thing is style points and where you get like DP says, the popularity contest at the beginning of the season. That's what gives you a little bit of leeway. So if you have a good, I would say, a marketing, win the offseason, and you get in to say top 20. I'm thinking kind of in the back of my head, obviously Nebraska or these teams, Georgia and them are always going to be up there. You're essentially one or two losses, obviously everything being equal with everybody else across the nation. You have that cushion versus the schedule. Playing a hard schedule isn't as advantageous as they sold it, pre the college football player for the 12-team playoff. It'll be interesting if they make adjustments, if they have some sort of separate point system, ranking system, or how they do it, or readjust it as you get closer to the final 12 that gets in, or in the future 14 to 16.
The strength of schedule is a secondary criteria. It shouldn't be primary, right? You're not putting someone in because they played a tough schedule. It should come down to wins and losses, and then if you're deciding between a couple 10-2 teams for that last spot, you can rely on strength of schedule as one criteria, maybe not the end-all be-all, right? If you're trying to figure out, why does this 11-1 team get to host as the 8 seed? Why does this 11-1 team have to go on the road as a 10 seed? That's where strength of schedule comes in. But I mean, Georgia has the potential to finish 10-2. Georgia has the potential to finish 9-3, 8-4. Their schedule is off the charts, crazy tough. We talked about Florida's. Georgia's kind of the same way. People would want Georgia in there, right? They're a good team. They have a couple of those really quality wins. But at some point, you've lost too many games. You've lost your chance. Sorry, strength of schedule shouldn't be able to save up.
Right, but that's why they sold it. If you play a strong, schedule during the season, it means more kudos. We've seen it in the previous years when they've picked teams. At first when this whole college football playoffs, when it was 4 teams, it came style points, right? What was it? One, I think it might have been Ohio State or somebody's like, oh, we got to beat so and so by so many points. So you kind of stay on schedule, as far as the style points. Then it became strength of schedule. That was a big selling point to keep it competitive during the season, making sure that the games during the regular season were obviously, worthy of being on TV, and then obviously into the rankings. And so obviously too many losses, of course, Austin, but they sold it as if it came down to, let's just say Notre Dame, right? On a regular year where Navy and Army, have been having.
We've lost him. He's gone into the black hole.
Dang.
He's gone into it.
He was on a roll too.
He froze up. Yeah, he'll figure it out. Here's where I am with it, Austin, and it frustrates me. One, as a coach, that most coaches, most players don't control their location, their competition, their schedule. Mm-hmm. Most coaches don't. Some athletic director, some regent, some commissioner, some national organization. If you want to do this, and again, this is, go with me here. I know my brain works differently, but if the NCAA or whatever faction you're now going to put in charge isn't going to line up the conferences, everybody can pick their own conference, you've really ruined the whole process.
Kind of lost the game.
Can you imagine the NBA saying, hey, everybody, tomorrow you can be in whatever conference you want. You can play whoever you want twice or 3 times or whatever the number is. Imagine saying that in the NFL. Woo. That, hey, you get to line up with whoever. Because mind you, as far as I recognize, in all of my entire life, Washington, D.C. and Dallas Cowboys Dallas, Texas are not in the same proximity. They're not in the same area. So you can make whatever schedule you want and then say, okay, now it's fair and balanced. Now you have to get good within that conference. and you have to get good with your schedule. But any schedule that's sent to the league and confirmed by the league has the same weight and value in the league. That should be listen, don't tell me about how good the SEC is if the SEC only picks who it wants to be in. Oh, it's a private club. Oh, well, gee, I need to be beholden to your membership. Wow, that's fair. That makes perfect sense, right? And it certainly hurts Nebraska that if Nebraska could pick its business partners from a financial standpoint, from a logical standpoint, from a geographical standpoint, we can name 15 universities, Power 5 universities in the near vicinity that you could do really good business with. Everybody would make more money, easier recruiting, easier business. But no, you don't want to do that. You want it to be this nonsensical chaos that exists every year. And now you've expanded it from 4 teams to 12. Yippee. It's still the same chaos and same mess. It really is the same nonsense. And they could fix it. You could say to Notre Dame, Texter asked the question, how is Notre Dame in because they've been your favorite. They've been mom's favorite since the beginning of time. We fully understand that Notre Dame, the rules that apply to Nebraska do not apply to the University of Notre Dame. They never have, never will. And to tell me that we put a greater burden on the military academies who recruit from an entirely different pool and an entirely different purpose, but play that line up and match up and play all the same, that you're going to give to the guys who are going through and learning how to fly planes and man ships while playing football. You're putting the same responsibility on the people, the party boys from Georgia and the party boys from West Point. That doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. But for the sake of this discussion and for the sake of our sanity, we just accept this nonsense. We accept it. Austin, it doesn't make sense.
Except that it's been the way it's always been, right? I mean, it was nonsense to begin with. We just haven't changed it, right?
But again, you know how my brain works.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it's always been.
Right.
Has always been my go button.
I know.
I know.
Maybe I said it for a reason.
That's
DP.
always my go button.
Yeah.
That a real smart person and a sound business person is going to come along and say, hey, listen,
let's do better.
Right? That if everybody from Florida and Texas and California who have, what are they, 18 D1 programs in Texas?
So many.
Right? 15 in California. Okay, there's the West. California, Oregon, Washington. Right? We can go to the Midwest and take what was the Big Ten and the idea and concept of the Big Ten and the Big 12, right? Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back to Big 12. It's the Big 20, but we're cool with that, right? We're cool with that. And then, hey, there's a Big West 20, right? That you can go through and say, you know what, Utah, BYU, Colorado, y'all figure out in the middle of the country what you're going to do. You're all going to travel better. You're all going to recruit better. You can play against each other. You can, in every sport, because it makes sense culturally, climate-wise, monetarily. We can do all those things in equal space. Hey, all of you Southern boys, remember the old Southwest Conference? Hey, there was a reason. If 8 conferences are necessary, 12 conferences are necessary. If they're necessary, I'm fine with it. And Nebraska would have a legitimate chance to be who it claims it wants to be by playing against like schools, like communities, like athletes. And then you can recruit outside of it and go, hey, California, can we have your number 20 ranked quarterback? Maybe. Hey, Texas.
Number 13 offensive line.
Right. Hey, Texas, we're still going to recruit, but at least we're going to control home. And that when we have these nonsensical discussions about playoffs and bowls and all these things, wouldn't it make more sense if it was fair and balanced to begin with?
It would, except fair and balanced looks different places, right? Because I think that Florida, Texas, California would try even harder to keep their athletes home. I think that people would say that those athletes there's more of them. There's more population base to pull from. So there is what some people would call a talent advantage there, right? probably a little bit more money on the coast. So it's not all
Why
fair.
is there a talent advantage? Just
Maybe-
population?
Well, it's just a bigger
It
sample
doesn't
size, more to
seem
pull from.
it doesn't seem to land in wrestling. It doesn't land
Well,
in.
again, it's different sports, right? Where you pulling
here's
from,
my-
what are you coaching them for?
If we're going to
Coaching.
say the big boy sport, let's talk volleyball, women's volleyball. All right, tell me why Nebraska has figured out how to recruit, develop, and keep some of the most talented volleyball players, female volleyball players in the country. You know why? People at the top of the program.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Hey, listen, everybody sees it. And no matter what coast you're on, you saw 92,000 in Memorial Stadium. Everybody else could have filled their stadium. You sure could have. You didn't. You got outworked. Okay. So Nebraska deserves all the perks and benefits of outworking, outthinking, and outprocessing everybody else when it comes to women's volleyball. I'm still going to ask the question about basketball, about wrestling, why you haven't done it, but somehow Mark Manning has figured out how to, and again, we had this conversation yesterday, without going to pulling a pool of transfers, simply knowing who you are and how you process what talent is going to work in your program. They maintain a rock solid spot in the top 5 in the country. Penn State, listen, there aren't many commonalities between Penn State and Nebraska, except when you figure out what your personality profile is. And I think Penn State athletically has to accept that Joe Paterno is in the very same space, in a coaching elite space, right? Alabama has to now accept that Nick Saban's not walking back in the door. Right. Joe Paterno Day, it's done. Done. Coach Tom Osborne, hey, listen, it's going to take – we haven't found a human being with the feet big enough and the heart and head big enough to walk in his shoes. So you better figure out who you are. Penn State, you're mad you're not Joe Paterno's Nittany Lions? Hey, man, didn't Nebraska have that conversation post Coach Osborne? You've lost one game and you're in the top 10 and you're complaining.
You're mad.
You're mad because you can't beat the number. Hey, man, you're much closer than everybody else. Be happy about that. And through all of this, when you rank Penn State, give them credit for beating everybody except a top 5 program. Like, that's not a horrible thing. Penn State, what are you doing? Don't tell me we are Penn State, except for that means we get to pout and make a sad face. Grow up already. And all of these programs. Indiana didn't care about all the blue bloods. They didn't care. Cignetti said, I don't care. I don't care about the reputation of Oregon. I don't care about Michigan. I don't care about Ohio State. I don't care about Penn State. All of y'all can come get these hands.
And 10 people have so far.
And everybody catching hands and trying to figure out, right? Army's undefeated. Navy, 1 loss, 2 losses. Hey, if you can win with Navy talent, you can win with Nebraska talent. You're just not. And you can say all the things you want about balance and fairness and equity. The reality is the results tell the truth. They tell the truth. And so this ranking thing, Austin, I say it. The 4 undefeated teams deserve more credit than everybody else for work actually done. Listen, okay, you got the pretty girl, you got the SEC pretty girls at the football game. Okay, cool. But I'm not giving you points in the poll, even though you've lost twice. Like, no, I don't care, Ole Miss. I don't care about hotty toddy. Army's had a better season so far. BYU's having a better season so far. Indiana is having a better season so far. And it's so far. It'll play out, but give them credit for what they've done and stop giving people credit for stuff they haven't done.
Works for me.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to go on a rant. My bad.
I think we got Jay back. Let's go to break and bring him back in.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've seen them come and go. Franchise testosterone clinics that pop up and then whoosh, they're gone. These franchise clinics quickly find out it's not easy to compete with Limitless Male. Limitless is locally owned and operated with a flawless protocol that has elevated them to be the best in men's testosterone replacement and sexual performance. By adding GLP-1s, our patients are losing weight in a healthy way. To feel your optimal best, schedule a free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Hey, ticket listeners, spend your Husker football Saturday at the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, as the Jay Foreman postgame show will be broadcasting live for 90 minutes immediately after the Nebraska-USC football game. Ribeyes are on special for as long as supplies last, with plenty of cold beer on tap to enjoy during and after a Husker victory against the Trojans. It's the Jay Foreman postgame show, live from the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, this Saturday, immediately following the Nebraska football game on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Fall is officially here, and Brown Shoe Fit has just the right style and comfort your feet deserve. Stop in and see a wide selection of all your favorite brands, including Brooks, Hoka, Echo, Keen, and many more. At Brown Shoe Fit, they'll take the time to measure your feet to ensure a proper fit. They also have the largest selection of Uggs and Hokas in Lincoln. Brown Shoe Fit, 6060 Q in Lincoln.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3 seed Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Old School on a Wednesday. It is Winning Wednesday. We're putting that in the air for all Husker sports. You got a basketball game tonight at PBA. Volleyball's coming up. And of course, the Huskers travel to Los Angeles in Memorial Coliseum. And USC has its own issue right now. Hey man, a little fine going on for bad behavior by certain people in positions of power at the University of Southern California at Los Angeles, the other place. I always get mad. I always get mad at them and go, yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. Like UCLA and USC, it's the same thing. Because unless you move them out of Los Angeles, it's still the University of South Carolina, Southern California, and Los Angeles. Did we get Jay back?
I believe so.
Yeah.
You good? I know
I'm good.
I know you in the double secret probation club right now. They got you on the low, like you.
Hey man, I'm in witness protection right now. I mean, but to be honest, I heard what you were saying. Obviously, in the previous segment, but then obviously with USC, they got a lot of distractions out there, and a lot of people think Nebraska and their, I guess, alumni or just the pressure of being here is one thing, but another thing being out in LA with I always call USC an active alumni. People forget Lynn Swann was essentially their AD for quite some time, and then after that, I think it was Pat Hayden, who was a former USC player, and obviously, was obviously a TV announcer as well. Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because even as recent as Lindell White, he's very influential in their program. So now you have essentially a slap on the wrist for having too many active on-field coaches, breaking the rule for 2 years in a row, not one but two, and then essentially you get a little bit of, I guess, a little bit too late, so we can't prosecute you. It doesn't matter because it's at the front desk of the present AD and administrators. On top of, by no means, even if it was I wouldn't say a seamless transition, average transition into the Big Ten, they never thought they would be in 4 and 5 in the way that they played, considering the way Mr. Moss, the quarterback, ended the season in the bowl game. You felt like they might be, I wouldn't say in better position than when Caleb Williams, but he maybe fit their system because he spread it all around and didn't have to freelance as much. And so I guess the assumption was now we'll see Lincoln Riley, the expert play caller, right? And then they got bigger in the offseason. DeAnthony Lynn came over as the defensive coordinator and said, listen, we have to get bigger, faster, stronger. They did. I think they put on DP somewhere 1,000 pounds of lean muscle mass. And you saw it the first game against LSU. And they seem to wear down. And so they have a lot of distractions on it. And then they said, let's do a cherry on top. Let's bench our quarterback that, had, I think, 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 5 in the last 2 games. So essentially, he was pretty efficient up until the last 2 games. Let's put him on the bench, right? And essentially, he was our starter. And you got to think I wouldn't say they turned their nose up on some transfer portal guys, but they felt very comfortable with him at quarterback. And then obviously they got the young Maivea from UNLV, big kid, 6'4", 220, inexperienced, but productive at UNLV, hadn't played all year, giving him the keys to the Maserati in a must win against Nebraska. And with you got a team like Nebraska coming in with their own, I guess, issues or, I guess drama per se with a new offensive coordinator. So it's going to really come down to management and obviously how we, whoever can deal with the chaos a little bit easier. But it seems like USC made a decision last week to go into the bye week weekend and kind of get it going. Boom. Monday starts. We got more stuff on the front desk of the athletic director and the administrators.
Isn't it fascinating that through all the struggles of USC and the transition into the Big Ten, that they still couldn't get it right? Like this is, bro. If you shortcutting and still getting beat and then getting caught, you're just not good at it, bro. Like it's
hey, man,
you've seen that before.
Like you, this is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic.
Hey, listen. The best thing is that they felt like they did it pretty good when they had Reggie Bush and those guys, and they reluctantly got caught, and that was primarily because an agent didn't get Reggie Bush to sign on the dotted line. That's the only way they got caught. So they've been doing it for pretty, or I guess, kind of massaging the rules per se for quite some time. This right here, I think, was just egregious. Like, we're not very good. Nobody's going to notice. Well, at USC, everybody notices, and because You have UCLA. No matter how good they are, they're still second fiddle to USC. And plus, you actually had the biggest coup at one point in time after Mel Tucker set the market for head coaches to get him with Lincoln Riley after that last bowl game. And so the pressure was on you. And it was since he's been there, the eyes have been on you. So if you thought you were going to get away with a rule or breaking a rule as far as coaching and get an advantage, you're sorely mistaken. But more importantly, I think for them, they got a slap on the wrist and they're able to move forward and don't lose any scholarships or, so forth and so on. And so look, this is two teams. I said it earlier and I said it, kept saying it all last week. Two teams, no matter how good they think they looked before, right? Prior dominance of Nebraska quite some time ago, more recent success of obviously USC with Reggie Bush and Pete Carroll and all those guys. Right now in this day and time, 2024, there's essentially, remember, you ever seen that picture where somebody says the biggest opponent is you? They're looking right at each other and looking at, try to count each other's zits on their face and see who has less. Ultimately, the only acne cream is going to be, rising to the top, and the cream rises to the top. So whoever can rise to the top and play up to the potential is going to win come Saturday at 3 p.m.
Well, they both programs need to fix some things. I mean, they say pimples are kind of, they're the byproduct of some bad habits. That's usually the case. And that you have to just determine, one, is it cleanliness? Is it nutrition? Is it rest? What is stress? Whatever it is, knowing what it is. But here's what we know about USC. That USC as a program and an institution has found every shortcut known to man. From an academic entry standpoint of just letting whoever has the biggest checkbook into the school. And that happens everywhere. We're not, hey, Nebraska, before you get all high and mighty, you got to say the same thing. But the reality is, if you're not in control, that whole thing of institutional lack of compliance, lack of control, that so many things constantly and consistently in your program go left. And Saturday is an opportunity for one of these programs to make a statement. They both made changes. They both made statements that, hey, no matter what's going on, it's not representing the best of the community and the program. So we got to fix it. But I'm not sure that USC has done we don't know whether there's chaos going on behind the scenes to explain a $50,000 and again $50,000 to USC. They got 10 Venmos the moment the thing was announced that multiplied that. But within a program under duress, those changes show up. Whoever manages the changes best will come out of Memorial Coliseum feeling a little bit better, a little bit more like themselves, and having a better identity.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, two teams coming off a loss, or and then you're able to get a win. It doesn't cure everything, but it does move the needle to curing all things. People will forget a lot of your road bumps, leading up to that, and like I said, these last three games are legacy games for a lot of guys on Nebraska, where if you play well down the stretch and say you win 2 out of the 3, or even 1 out of 3, 3 out of 3, whatever you want, to get bowl eligible, they're going to look at the 3 losses in a row as part of the quote unquote process, so forth and so on. And yes, there's transition at both places. Having a new coordinator come in that was a analyst somewhere else, and now is more familiar with Nebraska than just say, getting John Smith off the couch, and you're getting a previously head coach and a successful one at that. And you can't get much of a play caller or better play caller than Dana, who obviously Lincoln Riley is a disciple. So, I think you're not getting the air raid offense that people just think you're not going to be able to do that. So for people to think that you're coming in and streamlining a whole new playbook, you're just really doing a lot of lazy work. Now, what you'll get or potentially get from Coach Dana, you're going to get a more of a rhythmic offense, a little bit more intensity, and you're looking over. If I'm a head coach and I look to the right, and this is just say I'm, the Jay Foreman version of Matt Rule, and then whether you can do your scale 1 to 10, who's more handsome, but I don't really care. If I look to the right and I see Coach Dana, I was like, all right, you know what? I know that dude knows how to call plays. I feel comfortable, and this is not talking about anybody else, right? Then I look to the left and I see Tony White. Okay, I know what I got right there. So then I can manage a game and do all the other stuff. And I'm not saying that Coach Satterfield didn't know what he was doing before, but what I'm saying is when you looked at to the right and left, and I'm saying this, you have two essentially head coaches doing their stuff, doing their thing. And so my point is that when he looks over there, you got a guy that's coming in with maybe a little bit more aggressive play calling, ideology, and actually knows what he wants his offense to look like. Now, this is not his offense. I think he's going to try to call this offense along with a little bit of his sprinkles his way. So you might see a little bit different personnel packages as we talked about, DP, how he likes to attack in the run game versus how Coach Satterfield, attacked in his run game and pass game and everything, so forth and so on. Now, this is the one thing that people need to understand. The 3 E's still have to be, the first and foremost, no matter who's calling the plays, whether, it's Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid, doesn't matter who it is. You got to have effort, right? You got to have efficiency, and you got to have execution, right? There's only one thing that you can control, right? When you get off the bus, that's effort. Now, when you start to use that effort to execute, that means your efficiency percentages goes way up. So that means Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman, when we call plays, we look a lot better. So if the players take it upon themselves to make this offense look a lot better with those 3 E's and obviously all the things that to add on to it, everything will be just fine. Now, real quick before this, the USC changed at quarterback. He gives you more of a run pass RPO kind of threat, right? But Lincoln Riley doesn't want to live and die by that. So as long as you don't turn him into Lamar Jackson, you'll be okay. Now, for the young man, Marvea, coming off essentially 9 weeks on the bench, yes, practice is great. Okay, things move a lot faster in the game. You don't have the continuity and the connection with the receivers. They don't know your cadence. You know this, DP. Cadence is huge. Cadence not only how you call plays, or you go through your cadence when you're, obviously actively doing the plays.
Well, there goes Jay again.
We wait.
Wait.
We're waving.
Oh.
Wait, we're back. We lost you for 10 seconds. There you go.
Yeah, real quick, the cadence also is how you call the plays in the huddle, in and out of the huddle, when you snap it. I can guarantee this is one thing I want you people to look at. Look at the time and how long it takes for him to get in and out of huddle, in and out of plays, and those little checks when they look to the sidelines. That will let you know if he has a command of the offense, and that lets you know if Nebraska, who they're facing, if it's efficient. Nebraska's going to have to be, in for a ball game. If it's really a slow pace, Lincoln Riley will get a little hot on the collar and look for him to look to Moss if Mr. Maivea is struggling in the third quarter. That's a little sneaky tip that I was been told by somebody who's played at USC. I shouldn't have said it, but I did.
We might see both quarterbacks Saturday. Just expect it. That's it. Let's get us to break off.
Yeah. Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Gentlemen, it's time to elevate your style with something from our men's jewelry and watch collection. Why not treat yourself to the ultimate in luxury? We've got an incredible selection of pre-owned Rolex watches, even those hard-to-find models you've been dreaming of. Whether you're stepping up your game day look or adding a touch of class to everyday wear, our top-tier collection is sure to impress. Stop by Sartor Heyman and discover the perfect piece to reflect your unique style. Until next time, happy shopping, guys.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
In dealing with the high interest rates, it's very important that you get as much bang for the buck. And that's what our Remington Homes is all about.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, whether you want painted trim or other upgrades. Those are all options with our Remington Homes. If you're looking for more affordability and streamlined, you're probably better off with a Remington home. People get into homes that didn't think they could get into a home. A good product for the right price in budget.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, what up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. Obviously, I'm here. I'm deep underground, but quick segment here before we get to 5 o'clock hour. DP, the women's basketball team, played, I think, Southern. Obviously, did what they needed to do. Unlike the last 2 years, obviously, where they've been successful, 1 year kind of got gypped on the, making the NCAA tournament. Last year ran into the buzzsaw, which is Oregon State, with Kimo von Hoffman. Daughter hitting the gang of threes. Now she's at USC. What are your thoughts on the women's basketball team? Obviously, starting out the season ranked 23, 21 now. Have the inside-outside prowess. You got the new blood in there with Britt Prince. You got Widener back, but they look pretty impressive against Southern. I felt they looked a little bit better. Don't let me forget Potts as well. I felt they looked more cohesive and obviously spread out the scoring versus the first game. Yeah,
I mean. There's still answers to be found, and them trying to figure out, okay, exactly what's the best five. Rimdal being a player that they're trying to figure out, okay, where does she belong in the rotation? How many minutes? Who are you calling on in certain situations? And as the situations pop up, They're making some changes.
Right.
Allison Widener, the return of Allison Widener does some things from a solid standpoint. Just a rock solid. She's rock solid. She's steady. Right. She's forced. Her body's kind of matured into a Big Ten player's body. She doesn't look like a freshman anymore. Same for Kendall Moriarty, right? She and Kendall Moriarty both look like freshman players. They didn't have their grown-up face yet.
Right.
And they finally got theirs. And then you're trying to figure out, because the same in place, Kendall Cole, it's the same thing. Right. She had the baby face in Big Ten play, and it looked weird. So through all of it, I love the fact that they have pieces. I'm not sure what those pieces are yet.
Right. I'm
not sure. To put up an 84 burger last night was fine. I don't know that if the shooting three numbers are what they should be. Meaning volume. There are going to be some games in the Big Ten where 14 threes, it tells me you're comfortable getting to the paint.
Right.
But we also know that it becomes more difficult in Big Ten season for Markowski and Potts to be in the paint and do damage, because there are more big folks down there in the Big Ten, and people who are less, they know you, they know your tendencies, they defend those tendencies, they crowd the space. So, but do what you're supposed to do, giving them credit for doing what they were supposed to do. And then you hope that the same thing applies for the men's team tonight. Can you simply can you hold court? Can you hold serve? Can you hold water at home early in the season? Don't show me leakage against Fairleigh Dickinson like that. It can't be. And here's the thing: the Fairleigh Dickinson coach, turns out, I know his dad worked for his dad, DC, worked for the Castleberry family, are renowned in sports broadcast and sports journalism in the DMV. So he came in, he goes, "Yeah, I think you know my dad and my granddad." And I was like, "Yep." So they were in the mill the last 2 days, kind of hanging out, and they're excited about playing in front of. They're hoping it's a big crowd so they can get their players some looks and some different things. So it's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, I mean, with Fairleigh Dickinson, they just played up the road in Creighton, and obviously hung with them for a little bit, so they got the big stage, frightenness out of their system. And you're right about the women's team. That I think if you had all the answers right now, it might have been. I think it's a little bit too soon. That's for any team, men's or women. I think they got to play into it. I think adjusting to Widener being back, even though she's rock solid, she is the heart and soul of the team, along with Markowski and Potts. Everybody trying to figure out their role, and then obviously the 3-point shooting. I think is what we saw it up close and personal last in the NCAA tournament. Oregon State got hot, hit timely threes. To be honest with you, I think when a good thing is if you can get elite.
Well, we lost him.
Yeah, not pulling through.
We lost him again. Perfect time. That'll be the end of the first hour of Old School. We'll come back. 6 o'clock, the 5 o'clock hour coming up here. Old School, DP, Austin Norman, Jay Foreman from wherever he is in the pits of the world, coming up here on the ticket.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at couplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, the Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited. All built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of November. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln at 27th and I-80.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too with an afternoon high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low near 33. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine return along with lighter winds. An afternoon high around 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Butcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Owner. We're brought to you by the Mercado. Yeah.
You stupid. You are so stupid. You, Jay Foreman.
Hey man. Hey, sometimes you gotta improvise. I literally was in the dungeon, man.
Oh,
it didn't work. So we're gonna try one more again. Anyway. Hey, your brother will pop up on you like a Pop-Tart, man. You gotta watch out for me, man. No matter where.
Oh.
I would have done it with the with the pool with the waterfall back there. But the pumps in the bump video is probably not the Lincoln version when it's cold out there. But anyways, a lot going on, man. The one thing is that we'll hit it off one more segment. The biggest thing is we'll cover it tomorrow. Obviously, you got Thirsty Thursday, but we'll really get to dive into it because we'll be able to do our picks. But DP, the thing is like people, obviously when you make a change like this, quarterback is it's a big change, but it's also sometimes you can play yourself out of it, right? Or it's just a change of, hey, I've been kind of wanting to give this guy a chance, and you never know what the back channel conversations are at USC. Is like, all right, the season is over, not over, but we're not making a national championship run as they thought at the beginning of the season. Let's see what this guy has, and then kind of pull the plug a little bit too early. We saw it with Austin's Indianapolis Colts. Now for Nebraska, when you do a coordinator change, and I think Coach Rule, correct me if I'm wrong, so potentially he could be here next year. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to put any words in anybody's mouth.
Yeah, he said his vision was that Dana's the OC in 25.
Okay, so then that lets you know. So now you're saying, okay, well, let's see how he plays and see how he mixes in, obviously, with the 5-star quarterback and Dylan Raiola and the plethora of receivers, and obviously how we can get this thing jump started and getting some things moving in the right direction. Because he knows that the defense has been playing, for the most part, obviously, besides Indiana, winning football. And in some games with you got turnovers, you have timely stops, you had all the things you needed to do. So now you're trying to find a spark. But this is the thing that is going to be interesting, is how people move with another guy calling the plays. That's what's going to be more. I mean, obviously, I want to see Nebraska win, but I'm going to see how particular a few guys move. Right? I want to see how they get in and out of the huddle, how you break the huddle, how you obviously own your spot as far as when you're on and off the ball. All the little things that DP knows of being, obviously, he was a running back, receiver, and all that, but he knows that. DP, when you're watching receivers, right, and training receivers, which you did for USA football and all that, you want to own your spot. What does that tell you, DP? When you own your spot, you're ready to go, right? I mean, how important is that?
Presence was a word that was used often. Barry Thompson and I, in trying to introduce different concepts, different route trees, different route running possibilities, and then finishing plays. Presence. Put your foot down on the ground, and if Jay Foreman's going to, whether it's Jay Foreman or Rico lining up against me, that spot is mine. I'm present in it. I own it. My first step is in ownership. I'm going to take a step away. I'm going to take leverage away from Jay Foreman with my first step. My hands, I'm going to be present with my hands so that, you know what, if Jay Foreman, how dare you reach out to me? I'm going to chop your wrist off if you raise your hands to me. And then at the top of the route, knowing that at your break point, one, you have to be on time and in place. But two, I have to create separation. I can't just run the route just to run the route. I have to run the route to get open for my quarterback. I have to be on time for my quarterback. And then catching the ball, and then, Jay, we used to talk about presence is once the ball touches my hand, I need every one of my playmakers to change level and location with the football. Don't be where Jay Foreman knows you are, because he's going to take your hat off.
Right.
And I need to be physical in doing it, being prepared for it, right? Solid catch, tuck, get vertical, and change my spot. All of that presence shows that, one, you have a plan, you know what you're supposed to do, and you're responsible for doing what you're supposed to do. You're not just out there. Listen, I know Jay Foreman playing at 255 pounds is going to reroute my post. He's absolute. Look, man.
They don't do that anymore, man. They don't do that anymore.
That's right. Yeah. That's a whole but you are not going to let me cross your face in any route that I'm going to run.
Right.
Whatever space Jay Foreman is in belongs to him.
Right.
And that's, you watch Big Ten football, presence is the thing that coaches will teach, schemes will teach, offensive line coaches will teach, defensive line coaches will teach, and then linebackers. That, listen, you own space in straight line no matter what defense you're in.
Right. I think the biggest thing is with Coach Dana being a former wide receivers coach. know what he wants from the receivers, to be able to coach along with Coach McGuire on the nuances of how he wants the same routes that have been called during the season ran in his offense, right? He's obviously taking full control of this offense. He's the offensive coordinator. Obviously, he signed off on it, and I think he told Coach Rule he feels like he can call plays. So now this is his, he's the captain of the ship. And so when you're captain of the ship, you just like people to do things a certain way. It doesn't matter what it looks like on black and white or what was done before. You got to do it Coach Dana's way, and then obviously everybody else has got to articulate it their way. But it's how his offense with their playbook that was here previously ran in different variations, and so that's going to be key. I think you're going to see and I think Nebraska for the most part has done a pretty good job with the first 15. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with his first 20. When Nebraska was really doing well in the beginning of the year, their first 15, let's say 2 series of offenses were pretty good. Let's see what he does with his first 20, but then also more importantly, DP, it's the last 6 before halftime, the first 6 coming after halftime, and the 6 at the end of the game is going to be really, really important. If the game is close, what type of play caller, aggressive, conservative, or clock manager is Coach Dana going to be? And it might be, depending on the game or how they've been playing offensively or how certain parts of the offense have been played. So if the quarterbacks and the receivers are really in a good rhythm and have an advantage, you can see them be a lot aggressive down the stretch. It doesn't really matter how much time's on the clock. Or if they're pounding the ball, then you can see them snap it, close to 6 or 7 left on the play clock. So it's going to be interesting to see his effect and then how that affects also the special teams and the defense and overall flow of the game. Because like I said, you have a head coach recently, very successful play caller. So how he sees the game is a little bit different than say like a regular play caller that's moving up from say I was a running back coach and I'd start calling plays. It's a little bit different.
Jay, you are a quick start guy for teams, and it shows preparation, plan, mission, and then commitment to, hey, whatever we start with is our best thing. We should have success in it. You can't fail on first drives, offensively or defensively. It just can't be done. And I think it will show knowledge, whatever Dana's knowledge of the talent on the team. One thing to have an idea about what he likes to call and what his tendencies are. And let me tell you, all you got to do is go back to Houston in years 1 and 2, and you can see just watch the first 2 games, any 2 games from his first 2 years at Houston. And those tendencies, those are things that he knows absolutely and can teach absolutely, and that players can execute absolutely. And so those are going to be the 8 plays that Nebraska comes out offensively with, and it will tell you what to change. The great pitch and sell to get Austin Orman on board as a coach, those 8 plays. Those 8 plays are the ones that you convince all of the offensive starters to buy in. Because if you can't communicate it, teach it, and then execute it on a regular basis, again, this week, the 8 plays that they have repped the most, those are the plays. Those are Dana's plays. Those are his tendencies. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, those plays that, say 8 to 10, maybe 12, right, that he picked out of the previous playbook. But then also, like every offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, a little bit of special teams, but more or less the offense and defense, you add plays every week. So now he's had 2 weeks to kind of, all right, these are the type of plays or type of routes or type of concepts I want to add on top of, the playbook that's here in previous. So it's going to be interesting to see that first couple series. Obviously, everybody's going to try to dig and dive into everything, but I'm going to be big on the flow and the energy of the team and how that can be infectious of everybody else. And with him and the way, like you said, with Houston, and he had Tank Dell and all those other guys that went to the NFL, is once they get rolling, and he finds something, he's going to find multiple ways to get back to it. And the one thing about good play callers, and you call them snipers, is that they'll attack a part of the field and not even worry about who's there, because they know there's a hole in your concept or a hole in the way that you're playing that day. So it's going to be interesting how quick he picks up on the things that USC doesn't do well and how efficiently he goes about attacking them throughout the whole game.
And with that, the scheme, USC's weakness has to also match a Nebraska strength. And that part is where the magic is going to happen for Holgorsen. If he can take a thing, again, 8 to 12 plays, Jay, that Nebraska can run effectively all week long and then use them and match them up in down and distance against USC weaknesses. Now, so Jay, I'll ask you what USC's defensive weaknesses are.
Well, I mean, obviously with Big Bear going into the transfer portal after 3 games or 4 games, really, obviously hurt the run stop. And so obviously the ability to anchor in there all 4 quarters against the run is not being good. And then that affects their ability to tackle. But I think conceptually that what they've done is they played hard and they've kind of battened down the edges really, really well versus last year where they gave explosive plays on the outside. I think the biggest weakness on them is the ability to be physical for 4 quarters. And so, unlike when they played LSU, they never bent. They didn't break. When you look at Michigan, you look at Minnesota, you look at Washington, they were able to get the running game consistent, gut-punching running game, going late. And so it's one of those things that's really hurt them. Now they got I forget the number. I forget the number of the linebacker. He's about 6'6", about 215. He's my man can cover. Now what they'll use him is kind of like a Javen Wright. He's the ultimate eraser. But if you can neutralize him, then the running game starts to flourish. I think they're pretty good as far as like their stack linebackers. I think number 10 is a pretty good linebacker. They got actually better defense linemen than people got credit for. They got a transfer portal get number 91 from Wyoming. That's a pretty good defensive tackle, 3 technique, playing well. Maybe that's why Bear went into the transfer portal. So, I think, if they can get on guys and be efficient, Nebraska will really go to the kryptonite, which is stopping the run. And then also, I guess you could say physicality of the game, but then that'll open up some of their, quick passing game, tunnel and orbit screens, orbit motions, and then you can get into all the fancy stuff. But you got to win the line of scrimmage, and you got to make them play physical. And it might not be easy early. You can't abandon the running game. It doesn't matter if you're in 10 personnel, 11 personnel, 12, 13, 23, 22, whatever you want. You got to stick your nose in there and stay to the ground.
Jay, what would you? I mean, that would be the thing, right? How you would attack, and which players do you think are going to be the players that have to show up in the most brilliant? I mean, Dylan's the answer 1, but against for Nebraska to have offensive success against this USC defense, there's certain spaces on the field. Some of it's right up the gut, right? That if they can win up the gut, if Dowdell, maybe it's Dowdell, maybe it's another running back. It might be different. Maybe it's getting a pass receiving running back in the flat to make those linebackers go sideline to sideline a little bit, and they fatigue and they don't tend to, they cover the first route pretty well. Second and third, maybe not so much. What would you do?
Well, definitely the group that needs to have a good day is the offense and offensive line and let's say tight end, and they're active front. And when you go back and watch the Michigan game, they did a really good job of rallying to the ball. When it looked like you had some space outside, or you looked like you had some space when Michigan likes to run the power with the quarterback and the running back in the convention. It looked like they had the ability to break some runs. They were able to recover and because of the speed of their defense. And so what that lets me know, they're very active, play with a lot of, obviously tenacity. So you got to get on these guys and not just get on them and just kind of block them a little bit. Finishing blocks against USC is going to be, I wish there was a way that you could kind of, give a percentage, it's like a batting percentage, but a finish percentage. Finishing blocks against these dudes. The second effort is going to lead you to big things. You can go right back to when Utah beat them up in the Pac-12 championship. Utah was able to break them in the middle of the second quarter, beginning of the third, by just extra effort. You started to see the 5 and 6 yard run turn into 10, 12. And then what did that do? It put pressure. Even with the number 1 pick in the draft, it made Caleb Williams look mortal because they started.
Why did Caleb Williams look mortal, DP? Read Jay Foreman's mind for us.
Well, it's here's some of what they did.
Wait, Jay. Why did Caleb Williams look mortal? We lost you for a minute.
Well, because he held on the ball too much, but then nevertheless, the play calling they just abandoned the run, and then you were able to rally and hit him. And so, but it was all set up by how Utah was able to play offense. And then guess what? How Utah played offense, guess what they did with it defensively? They kept attacking and hitting him, turnovers, sacks, forced fumbles, and then obviously it led to the demise of USC in that Pac-12 championship.
Jay, is any of that possible without having the best man coverage from the secondary that they've had all year?
Well, it's man coverage initially, but then it's plaster secondary, right? You got a quarterback that can get out on the edges and run pass, right? He can throw on the run. So plaster is going to be huge, right? So I can cover you in the first, 2.5 seconds or whatever they say, 3 seconds. What am I going to do after the quarterback gets out of the pocket? I cannot leave my guy in zone or man, and you have to be disciplined by game plan and who's going to come out of coverage, when to come out of coverage. Don't let a 5-yard run by a quarterback give up an explosive play that could be backbreaking when you've been playing defense or good defense for 2, 3, 4 quarters.
It's got to be kind of the battle of attrition and who's willing to lessen their mistakes. Just get to, the new quarterback on either side and basically a freshman quarterback with a new coordinator. You've got a lot of tendencies are out the window this week. Isn't that the usual way from a defensive standpoint, that a new quarterback with a different style and a young new quarterback with a new offensive coordinator, it makes it hard to scheme defensively?
Yeah, it does, but they have a little bit of a crutch there where he played, last year with UNLV. So you're able to look at some concepts that maybe gave him some troubles. He did throw 10 interceptions last year, but he's in a whole new offense that he doesn't know in and out, right? You got to think he's a transfer portal guy, so he hasn't been there for 2 or 3 years like Miller Moss. So I think one thing I'm going to do, I got to make sure my back end is tightened up, and then I'm going to try to bring some heat on him early when I have the chance. I want the ball out of his hands, and I want to dictate where he goes so he doesn't get the confidence to sit back there and go through 2 or 3, 4 reads. Then also, if you're blitzing and you're correctly blitzing with your eyes open, willing to make plays, not blitzing to get blocked, but blitzing to make plays, even if he does break tackles, you got more guys closer to the line of scrimmage that can run him down.
Jay, isn't it safe to say that you expect their mistakes to be made? Like you expect the mistakes to be made. Whoever makes the fewer or less fatal mistakes have the best chance of winning.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can't neither. I mean, if somebody comes in and plays, lights out, then you tip your hat. But more or less, it's going to who manages mistakes and who settles in faster, who's really settles in, after the first couple, series and the excitement and the anxiety and maybe you stub your toe a little bit. Who can really settle in and play football, both offensively, but then more importantly, which defense plays better is going to win this game. Whoever plays better defensively, doesn't matter what you've done rankings before. Nebraska plays good defense, tackling well, rallying to the ball, no explosive plays. They win this game.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the idea. New coordinator, new quarterback, young quarterback with new opportunity, different talent being put on display, and that somewhere something in the bag, from Dana's bag shows up that they've been holding off on and maybe didn't feel comfortable running, that they take a chance and run something new, things that we haven't seen from players that we have seen. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, it'd be good, and then also maybe a player or two. Who knows? And we'll see who shows up. And plus, you're playing with a little bit of house money before we go to break. DP is that you're in within 3 games, and so if Jay Foreman hadn't played, and say I've been kind of waiting in the wings, if you have the right time, you might throw a skinny 205-pound Jay Foreman in there at linebacker and see what I can do.
Up jump the devil.
Yeah.
There it is.
That being said, man, Old School's going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol. You really think so? No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
There are moments in life, surrounded by family and friends, when you realize this is what it's all about. For 65 years, the Riddles family has been creating jewelry to capture these precious moments, crafting one memory at a time to last forever. Now, join them in celebrating Riddles Jewelry's 65th anniversary with incredible savings. Enjoy up to 30% off engagement rings. And for a limited time, save up to an additional $700 on your ring purchase. At Riddles, they're more than jewelry. They're here to help you create moments that truly sparkle, surrounded by the people who matter most. Family owned, today, tomorrow, forever. Riddles Jewelry.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving feast. Pre-order a 12-pound whole smoked turkey or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A 4-pound boneless ham is $50. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to old school game day at PBA, 7 o'clock tip. And we're just told that there will be a new starter in the starting lineup for the Huskers tonight. A Nebraskan native jumps into the lineup. Caleb Jacobson jumps into the starting lineup. And my first reaction, well, there's things going on, right? But my second reaction was he'll go off for 18, 20 points.
Last time I saw him on that court, he was lighting it up. So
I called him taking his team in overtime and lighting up and getting a state championship win. And I said then this is going to be a guy once he gets his grown man legs in basketball, and I'm glad that they've stuck with him. But yeah, it's an opportunity for him to see, and it's another step, right? That somebody has a chance, and we've seen this before in this program, that when somebody gets a chance to show up, they generally do.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was also saying earlier, that their head coach has DC ties, and in the DMV area in sports journalism, the Castleberry family is renowned. His dad and his granddad, like they're renowned, and he was in here at the Mill, and again, that's part of why we moved down here. The opposing coaches and players often find themselves in the Mill, and so you get to talk to them. Shout out to Thomas Vilianco for introducing Coach and his staff to the station and the Mill. They came in, hung out for a couple of days. Very likable gentlemen. Certainly, there's enough resume to know that they're quality coaches, and something good is expected. And it should be a battle. So we'll find out again, changing the starting lineup. I try not to be the Nebraska negative Nelly and go, okay, whoa, what's going on? Because you went down the bench. You went further down the bench. I'm not sure that you would have thought of Caleb as being the first person off the bench.
Yeah, the optimistic side is like, man, he must have been lighting up in practice.
Well, I mean,
and that's the answer. Like he's just been on top of it, but I don't.
I want to say he had 37 in the state championship game.
It was one of those where I think that was the same year because I was going back between Britt Prince and Jacobson. Those were like the two stars of that entire playoff run.
Yeah, and then of course there was the Omaha schools, the Metro schools, the Chucky and Hunter Salas matchup. But in the earlier game, I mean, it was Mr. Jacobson doing work.
Well, it's just when you watch certain players when they're hot and they got it, it's just like he was having one of those kind of playoff runs where like the guy just couldn't miss.
Yeah, everything was going on. He was playmaking. Another one in that year, Frankie Fiddler, who is now transferred into the big time.
That's right.
There was some talent in Nebraska high school basketball during that era, and again, as they head into their season where things are starting to pick up, that it'll be interesting to see. We'll have to have Nick and company kind of tell us who the players to watch are. Of course, I'm sure our texters will tell us players. Well, I mean, there are a lot of coaches in the listener family, and a lot of family in the listener family of players who, quite frankly, some get the attention, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Men's and women's. So it'll be interesting there. And then again, shout out to the women's program for getting their big win last night as well. Harrison, we were talking about USC and that they got fined for some inappropriate behavior at the level of the coaching staff. They chose not to suspend the coach for a game. They felt like he was compliant enough in helping, and that it wasn't actually him. It was just his people.
Which I never understand, because if you're the CEO,
You're
what does
in
that
charge.
mean?
You're
You're
in-
in charge.
Look,
So I
look-
don't know. If I own the company and my coworkers do something horrible with the company and my company's name, like, yeah, I'm liable for. I never understand that in the coaching world.
It's the thing that I keep trying to explain to people, that the talent that gets an open microphone here, if they go across FCC lines, this is not a podcast studio. This is a radio station. And the federal guidelines exist and they're real. And if you cross those lines, the station not only gets penalized and fined, but DP got to write the check.
Yeah, you can't just claim
Like,
that.
I can't go, hey, wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. Hey, man, yes, it was. On your watch. That's how it works. And I keep trying, like, I try to explain that to people. There's a difference, because there are folks who want radio shows and they want and I said, the vetting process matters. That I've got to be able to talk to you for an hour straight without you cursing, telling a lie, or crossing FCC boundaries. And if you show me that a couple of times, then we get out of the way and let you do your thing. All with the understanding that we're still going to hold you accountable, because I'm not trying to write a big FCC check. Like, we're not trying to do that. So you have to explain to people there's a difference. Sidebar to this, our good friend Nick Maestros at Muchachos posted on social media, and he was just going through some of the conversation about locally owned food establishments. And it's tough, because he said, sometimes we're only busy on game days, and there's still tons of work to do. There's still tons of things going on, and folks are having a difficult time. But there are tons of Lincoln restaurants, Lincoln owned, Lincoln managed. And the smaller ones get sometimes eaten up by the bigger ones. Right. And I'm not going to slight anybody by saying, hey, man, this restaurant chain has it much more easily fiscally sound than some of the smaller ones, for whatever reason. But I wanted to take a moment and shout out some of the smaller restaurants who are locally owned, locally managed, locally operated, and that the profit centers and things that are in play for them. Look, man, $20 to the big factory isn't nearly as much, means as much as it would to Muchachos. Like, the convenience of going to McDonald's, but that money leaves. It leaves Lincoln. And I've had this discussion in private and publicly, that we are a Lincoln-owned and operated radio station. And there are times when people bring it up, and I kind of get on my haunches a little bit, that I want to chew some heads off and go, why are you sending your advertising dollars to media companies who aren't in Nebraska? Don't tell me you're Nebraska first and buy Lincoln. And when you're buying Omaha, or you're buying Iowa, or you're buying Illinois, you're buying Texas. And I've said that about, listen, the things in the athletic department that don't make sense to me. But okay, they've earned the right to make whatever decisions they want. But I would imagine most people listening, in some theory, want to support Lincoln businesses and the community, because this. And so I'll read some of what he said, and it goes away from sports, but it's a business thing, and I kind of want to help. So he said, here's some truth. It's only my truth to tell. I can't speak for anyone else. And this is from Nick from Muchachos. He says, but I've tried different specials, social media target, marketing, radio. Right now, it seems like if it's not a Husker home game, we're down in sales every day. We usually have the food truck to supplement those slower days, but it's getting colder. And of course, that would mean less support. Dollars are tighter today. And when each one of you comes in, he goes, I don't take it lightly. Spending your money with us makes me keep doing this. So my only ask is, if you have the funds and want to splurge, come visit Muchachos or any of the other great, amazing local restaurants in Lincoln. If you go to Omaha, he has a ongoing joke with folks from Block 16 that he says, go anywhere but Block 16, but he actually wants them to go to Block 16. But everyone else is there. He goes, you get it? He goes on. Starbucks will survive. Go try a shaken brown sugar express from Bloom Coffee. I'll add, come to the mill.
Mm-hmm.
Dan and Tamara Sloan are exceptional human beings, and they create spaces in Lincoln and the surrounding areas to give Lincoln residents a place to go, to hang out, to be safe, to get something good in their bellies, to warm their blood a little bit. But all of these places, go support as he goes further. McDonald's will survive. Go try the rotating burger at Honest Abe Lincoln. Panda Express will survive. Go try the orange chicken at Chopsticks. He goes, I could do this all day.
Well, yeah, look at COVID.
Right?
Look at how many of the business closed. The big boys, though,
right?
They could survive something as horrible as that.
Right. And I said, I responded to him that, hey, bro, let's get together. And let's kind of create a day. Like we have the Give to Lincoln Day where, funds are matched or whatever. And folks are on purpose donating to Lincoln nonprofits. And we're going to do something very similar on Monday. We're going to do an all-day marathon fundraising drive for Link to Literacy. So all day Monday, the 25th, we're going to just go back and forth with different members of their board of directors, just coming on and asking people for donations. And you'll receive books, and anybody that makes a donation, you can go online and make the donation. As long as you keep the receipt, we can put you in the drawing. We'll have some Husker signed gear, some ticket signed gear that we raffle off for anybody that either online donates or comes in the mill and donates, has a cup of coffee. We'll do something there. But I said the idea should be that we create a Lincoln Eats Day or a Lincoln Food Day. And there's several ways to do it. And I know that there's a way that maybe on an app that people could have on their phone, that if you go and flash that, you scan that card in a restaurant, that you get a discount just for buying Lincoln, for eating Lincoln.
That's a great idea.
Right? That if you had it on your phone, or a card, right? Just have a card that, I mean, in the old days, that's what we did. We had a card that you had in your wallet. And the fact that when you open your wallet, the card was there to kind of remind you, hey man, buy Lincoln. Buy Lincoln. And another way to move this, and this is kind of where I am. And again, I have the freedom to say this. I don't have a boss, so okay, you can be mad at me if you want. But the reality is, what I'd like to say is that any of the Lincoln restaurants that want to do that on the day that we choose, that we will allow them have live reads, that we read on air, maybe for that day, they can come in and record their own, or they could send us their own to play. 30-second spot, 20-second spot, if they want to do it themselves, that we highlight throughout the course of the day. I'll give you the advertising for that day, that one day. I'm not going to charge you for the advertising. I'm not going to charge you for the production. And once you do it, you have it. Like, it's yours. Right? And then if you decide that, you know what, there's enough benefit, you're reaping some benefit for, and you want to do business with us, great. I said, but it'll be family, it'll be community for us to come through. And so Soulful Casino, that's why Chubbs has his own show. And he continually brings in chefs and cooks from all over Lincoln and the area to tell people about their restaurants and about their food, and to come in and do that. I keep telling them, bring food with you when you come. Don't just tell me what you make. Bring some. Let our talent know. Hey, do a thing. As a matter of fact, we could set it up. Hey, Chubbs, you come in on a Saturday, and if you bring 5 meals, we'll invite a family to come down here and win your food. Like it, and you win. And we could do it. I mean, imagine a weekend after, football season or whatever, that on a Saturday, you could just have a day where restaurant owners, locally owned and managed Lincoln restaurants, food providers, can just come in and tell people who you are, what you do. Listen, most people in Lincoln, they know most of the places that are there. But you need the constant reminder. And I try to explain this to people. It's the constant reminder. People, like, we think everybody knows the ticket is here. No, that's why we have to flood social media, and we have to flood the airwaves, and we have to put up billboards and in alumni magazines to get people, because we think everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we also think that the people that know are always going to come back to us. No, they get occupied. Things in the radio, things on Spotify, like they've got their own stuff. So we have to keep giving them reminders. Well, this will be a way for us to say who we really are and be who we say we are, which is a Lincoln-based radio station that can provide airwaves and amplification for local businesses. And listen, every dime generated stays in Lincoln.
It's the best idea yet, or I shouldn't say yet, because this is getting down here. But this is a great one.
Well,
Big fan of this pitch.
I think it's a thing. And so if you're out there and you own your own restaurant, reach out. Let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Just find me on social media or put it here on the text line, right? I would prefer you find me on social media. Find me on the Facebook page. Find me on X. And just say, hey, listen, I got a local business. Just tell me. And we'll pick a day. And if I got to sit here for 5 hours in Harrison, when we have bad weather, I post up and we just sit here and talk to people. But we could have a line of people. We could have up to 6 people an hour come in and for 5 minutes, talk about their restaurant. Bring food to sample, and you could put it out on the tables and say, hey, listen, we can invite folks down here.
I was going to say it'd be a great time for people to come down here.
Come down, sample the food, try Nick's food, try Chubb's food, try Charles's food at Mary Ellen's. That's been the family thing for all the L&K Grill who feed us on Sweet Things by Marcy. She's making sandwiches and has this fantastic chicken and dumpling soup. She's right on N Street. You need to go support her. We're going to get to all of the locally owned, where Lincoln residents are doing the good yeoman's work, putting food in bellies, and they're grinding. But we, as people who live here and succeed here, can help. And that's what I want to do. So for anybody that's involved, that wants to be involved, or of somebody that wants to be involved, and we'll go through Nick, and they can pick a day, right? It could be the day before Thanksgiving, right? Another opportunity to tell people what you do, and hey, come by your turkey, your Thanksgiving dinners from us. Mm-hmm. Come by your sides from Lincoln owned and operated restaurants. Or it could be for the holidays, where give mom and dad a day off. Let somebody else do the cooking. Let somebody else make you a plate. And we'll pick the day. And then we'll come up with a card, and we'll come up with an app, so everybody can just say, listen, we will, and there may be these things that already exist. And if they already are, I'm not trying to step on toes. Mm-hmm. Let's just get organized around it.
Yeah, amplify it if it's already out
there.
I
mean, I want to say that the downtown committee may have something. I'm not sure. But either way, we're either going to send everybody to that, or we're going to create a new thing, a better thing, a bigger thing, where folks we can constantly remind people, hey, listen, it's 11:15 on a weekday. And instead of you going to McDonald's and again, they will survive. They're going to survive.
They're good.
Right? They're going to survive. But we can help the people that are our neighbors. We can help the people that are our friends. And that's what we'll do.
We can help our roads.
Yep.
Hey, all that tax money stays in the house.
Yep.
Love to see it.
Yep. So that'll do it for this segment. We'll come back and close out Old School and set it up for one-on-one with Barry Thompson, talking about food. Man, Barry always cooking with Barry Thompson is always the thing. I'm DP. He is, in fact, Harrison Orange, who's taken over for Austin Norman. We'll carry you through the next bit. We'll be right back to close out this hour.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving feast. Pre-order a 12-pound whole smoked turkey or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A 4-pound boneless ham is $50. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. Showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too with an afternoon high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low near 33. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine return along with lighter winds. An afternoon high around 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Butcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, the Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited, all built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of November. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln at 27th and I-80. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final segment real quick before we turn it over and head into one-on-one with the coach, Barry Thompson. Hoops over at PBA, a new starter, Jacobson into the starting lineup for the Huskers Hoops squad as they take on Fairleigh Dickinson tonight. So it should be Interesting to see what that means, and we'll get more detail on what's going on with it.
I'm really intrigued by this.
Yeah,
I hope he balls out. I mean, I'm always looking for the happy ending and the root for the players, but
I don't
I'm
think it's a
intrigued.
reach to expect. I kind of thought that he was going to be a guy that offered more this year.
I mean, the
thought
dude
this
can
was-
shoot. There's no question about that. And if
Well,
you
he's a
play,
scorer,
Yeah,
which
and-
is a little different than just a shooter.
true, three. Fair to say he's a three-level scorer.
Yeah, he can get to it. He can get some body
Uh-huh.
on and still finish. He's got high basketball IQ. So there's some things in play. So shoot us a text if you're going the game. And then we also have to figure out, Harrison, you and I get together and figure out when we're going to start rolling off these Husker Hoops post-game shows.
Oh yeah,
Right?
We
We're
need
at
to get
that
those
point,
out there.
right? It's time for that.
Mhm.
And I think like Chancellor and Kyle do a pretty good job. When we have other folks in, we can kind of maneuver schedules and move things around. And then tonight, I don't know if you have a schedule for the 11 o'clock, but let's get that Coach Osborne interview back on
Okay,
air.
yeah, we can put that one
Right.
up again.
Let's do that back to back. And then we'll talk about this restaurant idea, because I got 4 texts just in the break. So I'll listen. It's that thing, right? It just, the idea pops up and you go, wait a minute, it's a blind spot that we're all missing.
Yeah, and everybody loves I mean, Lincoln's a great city,
right?
It's a great local idea. The money, everybody wins. It's a win, all around win.
Support
situation.
Lincoln local. It doesn't mean more money for me, but it's a good thing for other folks.
And the food's usually better than what you get at McDonald's.
Yep, 100%, and better for you. And
Yeah,
better
that
for
part.
you. That'll do it for Old School. Thank Jay Foreman. We thank the folks from Teammates. We thank Austin Orman for what he's doing. We thank the folks from Certified Piedmontese, the Mercado as well. One-on-one coming up with Barry Thompson on the ticket.